welcome to Fyter Fest, not 2. Now, before, I always forget to do something about the lighting. Anyway, I'm sorry. This is how I always am. If you haven't known me yet, you know I botched during my videos, but at least I try my best to make up for it. But let's put this in perspective. Raw and Fyter Fest. We're going to compare them. Because there's going to be some people that's going to compare it. I got to do it because I'm an honest reviewer that's going to be honest about what's going on. Let's make this perfectly clear. Fyter Fest is going to be outstripped by Raw with certain things that happened. But overall, the show is better. Fyter Fest is better than this week's Raw. Flat out. But there are parts that it got completely outstripped because Raw did it better. Just going to say it in certain things. And I'll explain what I mean. Now, the first labor of Jericho, where he's up against Shawn Spears. And Shawn Spears has the right to use a chair. Jericho does not. If he uses a chair at any time, he will not be able to face MJF in another match. And he will not go on to the second labor. That's it. Now, was this a good match? It was a chair match in a sense. That's what it is. One person using a chair against another one, and the other one doing everything he can not to get nailed and not try to use it to nail somebody. Now, MJF was on commentary, which was actually very good. And at one point, I think he went a little too far when he went with Chris, saying, oh, you see this old fat slob. You know this is a fat slob because you can see how Chris in his belly. He didn't say it like that, but that's pretty much what he's saying. Chris is about my age. Or a little bit older, I think. He's 51 right now because he was born in 1970. I'm about to turn 50. He's already 51. He will turn 52 either this year or next year. What do you want? It's hard to stay in shape once you get past 40-something. You're lucky if you don't become erectile dysfunction. Anyway, when it comes down to it, Shawn Spears loses that damn match by a Judas effect to the face. Because he couldn't get him in the face with that chair at the last moment. Now, MJF gets up, because he was on commentary, as I said, and he made it very clear, well, he didn't say I'm commending you, but essentially he says, you know what? You can't cheat because Sammy Guevara did come out and tried to help out because Tully Blanchard was with Shawn Spears. But he says, this garbage right now ain't going to happen again. No one is allowed to come out to help you ever again. If they do, the deal is off. You will not challenge me. But to make it interesting, next labor, I think it was a no DQ or no holds bar match. And he's going up against this guy in my face, which is, what is this guy's name? Nick Gage. Now, I've never heard of Nick Gage. Not saying Gage. Gage. I never heard of him. But it doesn't mean that he's not very important to wrestling because if they are correct, he is an extremely hardcore wrestler that doesn't give a damn. If he almost died or did die during a match, was brought back and he wanted to go back into the match, that shows this bastard is crazy for wrestling. Damn, if it's true. Now, when it came to later in the night, when Chris finds out who he's dealing with, he says, okay, you're going to give me the most sadistic and crazy bastard of wrestling. Now you're going to have to deal with the one who's sadistic and crazy myself, who I created. The Painmaker. That's from New Japan Pro Wrestling with the face paint. I believe I got a shot of it into my face. This will be interesting how far Chris is going to go with Nick Gage. I do not know, but it's next week. Let's move on. Kaz versus Doc Gallows. Careful your ears. Fuck New Japan Pro Wrestling. Fuck AEW. And fuck Impact Wrestling. Doc Gallows only. Now, of course, Carl Anderson was there, but Doc Gallows on AEW TV. No Moose if he is staying, which everyone keeps telling me. I know one or two people said Moose is staying, no problem, fine. If Moose is staying, he didn't show up in AEW. Eddie Edwards didn't show up in AEW. Sami Callihan hasn't shown up in AEW. No one shows up in AEW. Fuck Impact Wrestling. Fuck AEW for not allowing it, or Impact for not allowing it. Fuck them both. Because this is stupid now. What is the point? I don't care if the storylines are stuck on one show. It is stupid to do it. It is. I'm telling you, it is. You need cross-promotion storylines with more than one set of wrestlers. Because you see this match with Kaz, who is the elite killer. He tries his best. He has Kaz, the man's in my face. Kaz is a demon in the ring. The guy is already nearing 50. He's not 30, he's not 40, he's nearing 50. And he still goes in the ring like a Dustin Rhodes, like a Billy Gunn. There are a select few of people who are nearing 50 that if they have the function going up to it and beyond, they are an elite set. Billy Gunn is almost 60 years old. He's 58 going to 59. He still looks like he's in his 30s or 40s. Well, late 30s, early 40s. And he looks old. But you can tell the guy is just genetically a freak. Then you got Dustin Rhodes. He's like 51, 52. He's a genetic freak. And Kaz is another one. The guy doesn't even look like he's out of his general 30s. And he's nearing 50. He's like 40-something. I'm just saying. He loses. Gets his butt kicked by the elite. But, what are we going to gain by Kaz, who was with him? Oh yeah, Dark Order and not Ethan Page. Hangman Page. I'm getting the pages mixed up now. You know why? This is where it gets me. I understand why they're doing with Hangman Page. Perfect. I understand what they're doing to Kenny Omega. He came out and messed with Kaz. Perfect. But here's the thing, guys. I really want to see something with Kaz. That's the reason why I botched. That's the reason why I got screwed up here. Because Frankie Kazarian, could easily be a TNT champion. Could easily be a world champion. I know you may not agree with me completely, but they could be doing something more with him. Yes, the Elite Hunter is a good gimmick, but I want to see more from Kaz. I've never seen Kaz get pushed thoroughly. Yes, he's been in the X Division, had a shot, and has won at least once, and tag belts. But as a singles competitor, he's never been given a full option. And that's what I want. Hangman Page looked good. Well, let me give it to you like this. When he confronted Kenny ran, the Dark Order came out to back him up. I'm fine with it. It's all right. I just feel bad for Kaz because he could be doing more. Now, I'm not going to talk about Jurassic Express dealing with the Hardy brand. I'm just not. They're going to do something next week. We will see it then and see where that develops because it's supposed to be ending, but there's no stipulation to the match. Maybe it will be next week. We'll find out. Now, we had... How can I say this? We got Andrade El Idolo coming out. We didn't know what he wanted. He said he had a surprise. He and his interpreter was by his side, and I'm wondering what the heck is it? It can't be someone really important or something very important, but it was, and he's in my face. Chavo Guerrero. I think I rolled my R properly because I never roll my R's. Guerrero. Chavo Guerrero. There you go. Guerrero. I can't roll my R's. I never grew up speaking Spanish, so I can't roll my R's. But Chavo showed up. Bald. He looks strange without hair. You guys tell me below, does Chavo look strange without hair? He doesn't look like he's balding. He just shaved his hair off. So, he's happy to be in AEW now. Another legend in AEW. Interesting. That's good. Now, when you see that Death Triangle comes out and they make it very clear, you called us out, we don't hide. We come. We show ourselves and we break your face. They don't say it like that. Pac says it like that, but that's what happens. You see Andrade saying simply, you, all of you, come. Join AEW. Become my workers. Be with me. My accent sucks. But essentially, he's saying that when it comes to Phoenix and Penta, come with me. You don't have to work for this guy. I will take care of you. And he insulted Pac and got him pissed off. And he said clearly, we don't work for each other. They don't work for me. We are a family. And then Spanish started being taught, which in this situation was fine. This is one of the times where it doesn't need subtitles. You got two interpreters, one on Death Triangle side, one on Andrade side, which was Chavo Guerrero. It was fine. As an advisor for Andrade, it's actually a good thing. And seeing that the other guy, I don't even remember his name when he's working with Penta, but he did okay. He made it very clear. Both sides are not agreeing with this, and they're ready to do a fight. Now, the question is going to be, is Andrade going to have a third person on his team? That other guy, I don't think he can wrestle, and I don't think he's going to be wrestling. But I could be wrong. You guys tell me below. Now, we had Orange Cassidy at ringside with Sting versus Yama, I believe, Ama, and Darby Allin. Now, mind you, the match was actually quite good. But this guy, Ama, or Yuma, sorry, they're not Yama, Yuma, he's okay, but he looks like he's missing something. Maybe it's because I haven't heard him speak yet. That's the thing. He's a protege of Orange Cassidy, which had the most funniest segment of the entire thing, that he was facing Sting, hands in the pockets. He's doing his routine, and guess what? Sting does it back. It was okay at the first. And then you see Sting doing the orange kick, and then he's going like this. I just started to laugh. I couldn't help it. That was just stupid, and it was like a stupid funny. I enjoyed stupid funny things. But then you see Darby Allin getting upset like, what the hell are you doing? That's what's looking at Sting, and he almost lost the match, but he did win. But then, when it was all over, Blade comes and punches Orange in the face with some knucks. And that just makes you wonder, so how is the match going to work out when they have their match? Because it's supposed to be a match later in the night. I didn't mind the entire segment. It was all right. Particularly with Orange Cassidy dealing with Sting. That, I know not everyone's going to like that. They're going to say it's too damn corny and stupid. Well, why? I liked it because it was comedic. You don't always have to be so serious when you're trying to do a match. Anyone on the outside, it's fair game to act stupid if it's done in the right context. And it was funny. Now, Britt Baker versus Nia Rose. I was not looking forward to this match. Not because I didn't think they could do an okay or good match. It was that, understand guys, I didn't want to see it. I didn't. Because I'm not saying Nia Rose is not a credible threat. She is. And I'm not saying Britt Baker has beaten her. She has not. All that time before, she's never beaten her. But I wanted someone that Britt Baker could go through at least 2 or 3 or 4 competitors before Nia Rose. Because they put her at first, which I didn't think was wise. Look, I'm not against Nia Rose trying to get the title back. I'm not. Miss Thickness doesn't need to be worrying about it. Miss Thickness needs to be seen more often and talk along with Vicky Guerrero. I'm just saying. She's thick. Big girl. But the problem is, this big girl is being used too soon. Not because she doesn't know how to do the job. It's because you got Britt Baker, who's on a high right now. People are so happy she won from Hikaru Kushida. She should have gone through smaller competitors first. She could have gone through a Red Velvet. She could have gone through I forgot her name, Bleacher. She could have gone through a Selena Deeps. She could have gone through anyone else and then start the feud with Nia Rose. At least then start building it up, giving Nia Rose some time to get aggressive, to get angry, to have talking points, something. And there's nothing. So when we have this match, I'll say that it was a little sloppy. I will say it. Either because Britt couldn't handle the size of Nia Rose because she's not as strong as she looks. Look, Britt Baker is a good-looking woman who's a very decent wrestler. She may not be one of the best, but she's a decent one. But physically, she's not that strong. And we're talking about Nia Rose, who's a bit heavier than me. She's almost 200 pounds. I'm 170, 74 on a good day. She's a bit heavier than I am, so she may not have the physical strength to lift this woman properly. And technically speaking, it just didn't look right that she was trying to use power moves in certain cases. And Nia Rose wasn't that good either. She was a bit sloppy. There's one thing I will say about Nia Rose. On a good day, she does good work. But in this match, she was a bit sloppy. She was. So when it comes down to it, the match ends with a lockjaw. No problem. I'm fine with that. And the little bit of the, well, you know what? Britt Baker tries to cheat by throwing her title at Nia Rose to get the ref to mess with her so she can hurt her. Nia Rose realized it and threw it right back. A little bit of Eddie Guerrero. And this is why I really wish they would expand on. But they don't. I'm just saying. Now, I'm not going to talk about the press conference between FTR and Ortiz. I'm not going to talk about it. I want to see what they're going to do next week. It's happening next week for the Fight of the Fallen. I'm going to find out next week. I don't want to talk about it. Now, we have Orange Cassidy versus Blade. And you got Bunny at ringside. You didn't have Statlander at first. Look at this shot in my face. Cherry Bomb got some nice bombs. And the kicker here is this. Allie's a beautiful woman. Allie has a great set of boobs. Allie's a pretty woman. Allie, to a certain extent, can talk. But they really haven't done anything extensive with Allie. I think Allie could do some of her old stick that she did in Impact Wrestling when she was working with well, I know you don't want to think about dealing with Rosemary in that respect, but I really think if she went back to doing something a little crazy, I think it would be a little bit better because she's missing something for me personally. The match was okay. The Hardy family, no, don't say it. The Hardy brand almost did it. The Hardy brand did not win. Blade lost and got some knocks to the face. Now the question is going to be where they're going to keep going with this, especially with Statlander dealing with Bunny and the Blade still dealing with Orange Cassidy. And when is Orange Cassidy going to be showing a little bit more interest in Statlander? He's always with her. Look, guys, whether they're in a real relationship or if this is a work relationship, they should be showing more attention between Cassidy and Statlander. It just makes sense. That's just me, guys. Tell me below. Now, the setup for Cody and Malachi Black. Interesting. I didn't catch any images of the advertising promo for it. But I will say this. Seeing they're really going to make, almost say Aleister Black. Malachi Black is going to be a very interesting situation because when it comes down to it, I always say that a lot, you got Malachi Black coming in really quick and is now facing the face of the company. He is. No matter what you like about Cody Rhodes, he is the face of the company. And I got to say this is extremely important. If Cody jobs out Malachi Black on their first match they finally have, there was no point of it. There was no point in letting Malachi Black even be seen now and even dealing with Cody Rhodes. They just buried his ass like they did with D. Keith Lee and what they did with Karrion Kross. They better not. They better not. Now, almost forgot because I was about to go to the final thing of the night. I said that, well, you know what? I'll wait until this is over. Last thing. The IWGP US title match. That is a Texas death match between a Lance Archer and Mox. Now, the only way to win is similar to a last man standing match. That's what it is. Count of 10. If you don't get up, you're done. Was this a good match? It wasn't bad. The crowd was totally into Archer because it is his hometown. This is his home. He's from Texas. This is his home. He was cheered for. People were waiting for him. And this fight was a good one. It wasn't perfect, but it was good. And in the end, you basically have Lance Archer standing tall. But what is the guy's name? Haku? I can't remember the guy's name. King Haku. The son of King Haku. I can't remember his name. But he's a big guy. He's taller than Lance Archer. And Lance Archer is a tall-ass dude. But he comes out after the match is over. And now he's challenging for the IWGP US title. Now, this is what I got to say. Fuck Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is where fucking Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling must be stated. Because look what AEW is doing. AEW is doing the Forbidden Door, where this makes sense, where you see a title being contested and defended on their television from New Japan. Now, what are you getting from Impact Wrestling? Yes, you got Jay White, but does that mean that the title is going to be contested in Impact Wrestling to an Impact star? No. It's Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, who starts out in AEW, who is now doing duo contract, maybe, with Impact Wrestling. He is not an Impact star completely and exclusively. Now, it doesn't mean that all the others are, but they make it acceptably clear that there's no connection between Impact and AEW because there's no Impact stars on AEW other than the Good Brothers and Kenny himself. Don doesn't count. So when you see this entire situation, it pisses you off as an Impact fan unless Jay White is going to be defending that title for someone else other than Kenny. Now, was this a good show? Yes. But here is what I was saying before about Raw outstripping AEW. When it comes to Fyter Fest, Chavo Guerrero appearing is a great thing, but it's no match for Goldberg and Cena. I'm sorry. It just, yes. When you see most of the show, it's great matches with good storylines being built, including Malachi Black, including FTR and Santana Ortiz. Hell, you could say what's going on with Jurassic Express and the Hardy brand. That's not bad building either. And overall, the show is structured well. It has a lot of good matches. And overall, it's much better than Raw. But if you're going to be honest, it got outstripped by two things. Goldberg coming back, because you can see the Texas crowd was cheering. And Cena coming back, and the cheering of the crowd. That's just no way to hide it, no way to deny it. But that was only for shock value. And I want to make it very clear to anyone that's hearing this. Shock value is different from actual performance. This is shock value. This is actual performance. And shock value, short term, always gets ratings. I repeat it again. Shock value can get ratings every time. Every time. So when you hear about the demographics and the ratings from the Nielsen, you're going to hear that Raw was up and probably way higher than it normally is compared to AEW. AEW will probably hover maybe near 1 million or maybe near 800,000 again. but it's not going to be a substantial jump because of what just happened. Raw is going to have a decent bump, maybe about 300,000 or 400,000 people extra, maybe. So they go to 2.1, maybe 2.2, maybe, because it may not break any more than 2, but you never know with the Nielsen ratings, and Raw is going to show it. But like I said just a moment ago, short-term gain of shock does not always equate to long-term gain. It can also be a long-term loss. And what's going on with WWE and what they did to Karrion Kross, what they did to Keith Lee, what they did to Rhea Ripley, they buried their asses, and then the kicker of the entire thing, not even caring about Charlotte Flair, when she did another title reign that meant nothing, you have someone that many people think would really bring in fans that are young, that are cared for. But guess what? Instead of building her up into SummerSlam, no, they give her the damn title now. They blow their load and waste all that they could have built for someone that could really give them ratings to a certain extent. Not really great ratings, but at least a tiny bit of a bump. More merch, because the kids are going to want it. More merch for the women, because they may want it. But in the end, WWE just fucked themselves. And AEW did not. But AEW is not going to have a huge gain short term. It's just not going to happen. But long term, they will. That's what I do believe. And I hope you enjoyed this. I'm really, 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 really hoping that it's not a huge bump for Raw, because they don't deserve it. They fucked over Keith Lee. They fucked over Karrion Kross. They fucked over... I am angry now. Let me go. Peace.